work really doesn't have to suck. Like, if you're working in a job, or if you're a freelancer, or you're a, entrepreneur, and you really hate what you're doing, how intuitive is it for you to spend the rest of your life earning a living that's just going to bring you closer to your death? It's not. This is not what you want to do. We have basically come to some conclusion that work is just, it's not supposed to be fun. You're not supposed to like it. You're just supposed to do what it is that somebody paid you for and get it over with. I don't believe that's true. I think the whole purpose of work is to work with intention. Is to bring something to the earth, some type of change for someone else. It's an act of empathy, but it's also an act of authenticity. What do that you are so good at that it just illuminates in the face of others? It shines a light on other people because they see how good you are at this thing. Or it shines a light within. It illuminates your soul. And through that illumination, you're able to spend hours and hours and hours refining it. I think that's the most important thing when we think about work. And we really need to understand that with how the internet is, you are in an era where you can come online and just share all the things that you're learning, all the things that you care about, and just talk from the heart, right? And other people will receive it because we are all students of this game of life. And we are all trying to understand how it works. And all of us have some sort of differentiated value that we can contribute to one another. So there's enough value in the world for everyone to build something that they genuinely care about. And on the opposite side of things, if you don't know what you care about, then figure out what you dislike. I started a newsletter called Purpose Canvas, and it's on Substack, and I'm also going to turn it into a podcast, and I'm also going to potentially write a book. And the reason why I started this was because, to me, I never knew what I really wanted to do with my life. I had no clue. I just looked at opportunities that came and said, okay, I'm going to jump on this, then I'm going to jump on that. And what I started to do was I started to make money the determining factor of what I wanted from life. Because I figured to myself, the more money I get, the more things I could get. And the more things I could get, the happier I could be. Because I could solve all of these problems. But then I started to realize that life is a game of never-ending problems. Every problem that you solve just unlocks a brand new one. And you have to solve that. This is why happiness is fleeting. Happiness doesn't last for forever. Happiness lasts for a moment. It is contingent upon something, which is why I think people should chase peace and not happiness. But when I started to realize that everything is a never-ending game of problem solving, I said to myself, well, what are the problems that I want to solve? And problems and purpose directly tie together. And the reason why they tie together is because problems, the number one problem that you could ever have in life is wanting to survive. Because if you don't survive, you will not exist. If you don't exist, you basically die. And we all do things that is rooted in our own survival. And so since we want to survive, and that's the number one problem of life to always solve, it means that every single time we solve a problem, the problem that we're solving has a purpose. Or the purpose behind how we're solving the problem it's purposeful, it's innate, it's inherent, right? So when you look at the world like that, you realize that there is no big abstract purpose that you're aiming for. Because even when people create this big mission or this big vision, that assumes that that is the vision that you're going to want for the rest of your life. That's the path that you're going to want for the rest of your life. And human beings are not static. We are dynamic. So once you accomplish this big vision that you have for yourself, this purpose that you have predetermined as important for you, you will likely want something else. So chasing the path of purpose is not about accomplishing the thing. Unless you create something that's so big that you never can accomplish it. Right? Then you just constantly work towards trying to accomplish whatever that thing is. But purpose is you. You are purpose. You existing is inherently purposeful. So when you start to look at it from that perspective, and you start to say, okay, well, what problems do I want to solve? Do you really want to solve spending all of these hours working in a monotonous spreadsheet, trying to write some formula that's going to take you hours and hours and hours to do just to get a specific outcome for someone else? Is that how you want to spend the rest of your life? If not, then you need to ask yourself. One of the things that I asked myself was, what do I want to do? I realized that I'm gravitated towards creative expression and autonomy. And I said, okay, well, what can I do that allows me to do that? And, you have the angle of, well, run your marketing agency, become a consultant. But to some degree, that stuff still felt way too limiting. Because I don't want the work that I'm doing to be about delivering deliverables to get someone else a specific result from a business aspect, right? I want what I'm putting out into the world to change other people's lives, to shape how they feel about the world, and to give them a new perspective, something novel. That's what I care about. And when I started to realize that this is what I cared about, I said, well, I care about changing people's perspectives. I care about creation. I'm a builder. I care about expression. What are the best ways to express myself that makes the most sense for me to tackle right now? This is the question I asked. And I realized that I have a knack for writing. Well, I don't like writing, but I like the expression that comes with writing, video creation, and just speaking. So I said, okay, I'm going to speak, write, and make videos. That's at the most fundamental level. Now, the topic that I want to talk about purpose and meaning. Because I always hated working in a job that didn't have any purpose or meaning behind what I was doing. I hate doing busy work. I always hated doing anything that didn't feel purposeful or meaningful in general. Okay? And I said, okay, so this is what I care about. Okay, cool. So I got my topic. I want to help other people understand that work doesn't have to suck and that you can create something meaningful that you actually I don't want to say are happy about, but you are fulfilled by. The reason why I don't like to use the word happiness or happy is because happy is contingent upon something. Happiness is fleeting. It does not last forever. So I created Purpose Canvas, and I'm probably going to turn it into a podcast, probably going to make a book, and we'll kind of see where that goes. But my goal is to really talk about work and how to find work that you enjoy and that feels authentic to you and to share my interests on the internet, just like multiple people are doing, just like you can do. And I'm going to talk about all the challenges and all the obstacles that I've overcome. But I'm creating this video to tell you that work does not have to be boring. It doesn't have to be boring. It doesn't have to be what you've conditioned your brain to think that it has to be. Find something that you like to do and then figure out how can you turn that into work. And work also doesn't necessarily mean that you get money from it. Okay? It doesn't have to be attached to any material possession. It could just be something that you're working on because you enjoy, like a personal project for yourself. So if you enjoy cycling, well, go cycling. I like to cycle. I cycle all the time. So hopefully let me know in the comments below if you watched all the way to the end of this video. And let me know if you have any questions. And if you found this video helpful. Whenever you give me feedback, it makes me want to keep creating content for you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.